Hi everyone, hope you're doing really well. Welcome to this episode. My name is Josh Harrison, and in this episode we're going to be looking at the 9 key result areas related to our buying a buy-to-let property. In our previous episode we looked at the 6 buying criteria that have to be met if we're going to end up buying a property, and in this episode we're going to be looking at the 9 key result areas. And the best way to perhaps picture this is a river. You are standing currently on one side of the river with no property, or you haven't purchased a property, or your next property has not yet been purchased. And then you take 9 steps, 9 stepping stones, and by the time each step has been taken, you have crossed the river, and your result is you have a property that gives you monthly profit and also has great prospects for long-term capital appreciation. So these are results. The whole goal is divided into 9 key stages, and that is then all trackable, and how you move forward from having no property to end up owning a property. And it all starts far over on the left hand side with leads. Now there's offline leads and online leads. Offline leads, very quickly, there's no arrow, there's no associated oblong. That's because if you saw our 2022 goals episode, then we want to do some more direct to vendor work. We haven't got a system that is yet tried and tested, so there's no information currently in our operations manual for that. But however, we do online leads using the portals, and I've done episodes on that, so see the iCard on screen if you wish. And once we have a lead that meets these 2 criteria, is there tenant demand and is there the opportunity to add value, then we move into the second stage. We're going to do the activity associated with viewing that property. And one thing about tenant demand, inherent in that tenant demand analysis is area analysis, and that area analysis includes opportunity for long-term capital appreciation, the likelihood of long-term capital appreciation. So once those 2 criteria are met, we then go and view. If they aren't met, we don't even go and view it. There's no point. It's not going to meet the criteria. There's a load of activity associated with viewing, and in our next episode, by the way, we're going to explain what's in each of these boxes, what's the activity associated with each key result area. Once we've viewed it, we then go and do our analysis, and it's got to meet 3 criteria. These 3 questions have to be answered in the affirmative, and if they do, then we move in and we submit an offer. And our offer is going to be below average market value. And if you're not sure what we mean by that and our take on that, then I have done a whole episode about that you can see that on the iCard too, and also the link will be in the description. We submit our offer, and assuming it's accepted, we end up purchasing it. If it's not accepted, we'll explain in the next episode what we do if an offer isn't accepted. And then once we've purchased it, we do our full refurbishment, because of course we're looking to add value. And once that's finished, we work with a lettings agent, hand it over to a long-term tenant. It's managed, and after a period of time, it's then refinanced. And this is where what we do, the buy to let, buy, refurbish, rent, refinance model. Here it is: buy, refurbish, rent, refinance. There's the exact model right in front of you. We're peeling back the layers. Then just notice there's 2 other things that are quite interesting here. We've got these 2 arrows that then track back along that same line. So this refinance process, once it's refinanced after 6 months, then it goes back to long-term management, of course. And then it cycles along to refinance, because after depending on a number of factors, let's say after 5 years, it's likely that property has gone up in value, because again, we looked at area demand, tenant demand right back at the beginning. So it's gone up in value, we can refinance and we can release some of that additional equity. And then once that's done, it just continues to be managed. And then it goes back at some point to this refurbishment oblong, this key step, because a property will always need some form of management and repair, particularly for things like bad weather. So a carpet will need replacing. It may be some slip tiles, or a fence will need replacing because of bad weather. You get the idea, and then it's just back over to the tenant and it's managed again. But notice what's pretty obvious is there's no arrow back any further than that. We don't go back and view it again, and we don't go back and offer again, we don't go back and purchase it again. That's pretty obvious. One thing we do is we do some analysis, but that's included in this stage over here, and we'll explain what we mean by that in our next episode. So they are our 9 key result areas, our 9 key stepping stones from going from not owning our property or our next property right through to buying a property that gives us monthly cash flow, profit and great prospects for long-term capital appreciation. I hope you found it interesting and helpful. If you did at any point, then please just leave a like before you leave. And if you haven't yet subscribed, then please join us. If you've got comments or questions, or you'd like to share what you think about this, or why we haven't done X, Y, or Z, or what do we think about, then just share all those below with the comments and we'll get back to you. Apart from that, thank you for your support. As always, we really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.